What's up, fam? How y'all doing? I love when people do this. And I was like, how y'all get y'all fingers? You know me. Right. My fingers didn't bend when I first had my plate put in my, they didn't bend. Hey, I ain't
It's taking me a while to figure that one out.
stop.
Oh, not you throwing up.
Get
Wait
there,
a
you
minute.
stop, you stop. Stop. See, we on recording. Hey, peace, not people, wholeness, family. Power to the people. Come on, give it up, give it up. Fight the power to be me. Okay, autonomy. Let's get it. Let's get out here and let's get it crack a lacking. Let's get
Yeah.
it started. Stay off the coffee, man. Okay.
Come on in. 3D'S with Reverend Tiny. We in the building. We're here again with our next card, the death card. This is gonna be a real good one. We had already started talking before the podcast even began, so I can't wait to get in. Let me go ahead and plug in this advertisement so we don't waste no time. Recovery Life Coaching, remember, with Reverend Tiny, go ahead and book your appointment. Description in below has all the information that you need to know. Go ahead and get your appointment and let's get on with this show. 50 years of hip hop and the crack epidemic and the trauma left behind. We are on the fool's journey, and the fool has arrived at death. What's cracking?
I love that introduction. Introduction. The fool has arrived at death because when death doors meet you, you wake up, and it's man. That's why you get paid all the big bucks, right? Because you know how to lead that introduction, and how I shared my suicide attempt, and then we come back and talk about death because it was the death of an ego. I thought I had it going on. I thought I had God, and I thought I had this, and I thought I had that. And in death, so much happened. So it has the Grim Reaper and this, um, the White Knight of Death, right? Somebody down on the floor, and in between the pillars, and the red sky. This is all symbology. But when you don't know nothing about symbology and you just struggling in that fool's journey, it's like you go to God, you go to the church and try to find some answers. You ain't accepted there. It's like, no, just die, just give up, it's right here. But it's all about letting go. It's all about letting go. It's a spiritual transformation that you have to go through. And everybody goes through it, right? It's about new beginnings. And it's sudden and unexpected change, right? It's like being jerked because like me, I didn't have no choice after I did what I did. Like, no, you gonna wake up. And in the reverse, it's the inability to move forward. So there's where the hangman comes in when you're stagnant and you can't move to death because you're stuck, right? It's repeating negative behaviors or, doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome. It's about dependency, codependency. And then the heart chakra is closed off as well, right? We got to open that up. Number 13, some people say it's an unlucky number. I have two different perspectives on that. Sometimes it's a good number, sometimes it's a bad number for me. There's a couple of things that I could share about it. I probably won't because it's a touchy. But it also is the planet Pluto, and Pluto is transformation and regeneration. Rejuvenation. I'm sorry. Tomato. Somewhere in there.
Regeneration. I feel
Yeah,
like you said it right.
yeah, regeneration. So recharging, re-up. Everybody,
Mm.
hey, re-up.
Mm.
Uh, the death. And I'm gonna just get right into it, and I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share another story and how death showed up in my life twice. maybe 3 times. Um, and I want to dedicate this to my sister Leanne, my blood sister. We have the same mother and father, so I want to shout out to my mom, Rosetta Hunt, my dad, Everett Lee Colbert. And our bond is so tight. And I talked to her last night. I talked to her after not talking to her for 6 months. A significant person died in her life. And the death card meets us sometimes where we don't want to accept it, we don't want to acknowledge it, we need a lot of support. And of course, I could say a lot of things about the death card and the tarot and the number 13, but I really want to hit home when someone you love dies and we dealing with real death, how hard it is. So sister, if you listen or you watch this, I love you. I love you in your face and out of your face, behind your back, indirect, right? No caps. And then I'm going to go and just say, we have to love ourselves sometimes more, harder than ever to get us through these transitions of having a new perspective, being a hangman and death. There's never a right time for death to show up in somebody's life. I've lost a nephew too. He was my little brother and my coach, right? From police brutality, they shot him in the head. I lost a husband to lung cancer. And the reason why I'm sharing these stories is not to be fickle in the mind, but talk about some real losses that our brothers and sisters take in the street wrongfully, losses to cancer, the loss of the soul when you just can't, like I try to commit suicide because I lost myself, I lost my soul. And we talk about the crack epidemic and how it took a lot of our brothers and sisters, our mothers and grandmothers out the game. That's why this is so heartfelt and it resonates so because I made it through, but I lost so many of my partners, my family. I even lost myself for a while. So when I'm speaking about the death card, I'm speaking of the tragedy. I'm speaking of the reality of the injustices that we deal with every day in America. Every day. And how it shows up. And then how we have to let death comes in, which is symbolized as winter, for spring, for the new beginning, so that our lives can be restored, our lives can be renewed, and new beginnings comes with that death card. So, sometimes we want to sulk and be upset and cry. Of course, yes, because it hurts, right? It hurts. Death hurts. And I don't care what kind of death it is, death hurts. I don't care when it shows up, it hurts. It goes along with the saying that the truth hurts, death hurts. It hurts to see, it hurts to walk with that person. And if you're an empath like me, I feel your pain. It hurts. And that's just what society gave with the crack epidemic. There's a bunch of pain and unfortunate lives were lost. And it's like, being reflective, well, how do we change that? What can we do? How do we let go? And it's a whole bunch of questions that ain't nobody really got the answer to because we're not in control of the solar system or the spirits and the principalities. We're only in control of ourselves and making the next best decision, and it may not be the right decisions because sometimes those decisions that just have to be made, right? Like ain't nobody gonna win. Ain't no winners today. That's death. I'm thinking about, I'm gonna go on and say, sometimes 13 is lucky, sometimes it's unlucky. I lived in apartment 113, and my daughter died as a baby from SIDS. And my aunt Rachel said, Tiny, that was just an unlucky apartment number. So it's sometimes in life, things come up and we have to look at, was it the apartment number that was just demonic, right? Did it just come with a bad energy? The principalities of things, like we answer to a higher realm, whether we want to or not, walk in that light. It's up to us. We can walk in darkness, we can walk in light, but the challenge is to balance both and know the energies that you walk with. Because we can't reject the bad, because keeping us fear is a intellect, is a knowing. Being mad kept us safe, protected us. And then people talking about don't be mad, walk around in light. You can't walk around in light all the time. Sometimes you need to be mad because it gets stuff done. It's all in how you look at it, and that's where the hangman comes in, new perspective. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. And when you're tired of having bad days, you petition for good days to just come and let go. That's what I had to do. Like I shared, I had just gave up on everything. Like I'm done, put a fork in it, shit. I can't even do no more. It's been hard, but hey, allowing death to come in and welcome death. Welcome death. When you come to grips that, okay, I'm gonna die eventually, and just welcome it. And there are meditations that lead you through envisioning your death, what it feels like, what you want at your funeral. It's easier to deal with life. And I told a couple of people, look, put me on a raft. Queen Guinevere, whatever her name is, from Excalibur, but anyway, put me on a raft, throw that white lace on me, throw me some flowers, give me my sword, and I want y'all to be on a boat, having a party, and I'm on the raft in the back. Y'all get to the middle of the ocean and let me go and put me on fire. That's what I want for my funeral. A party, a boat party. Go on and let me go, burn me. And some people like, no, that's what I want. I ain't spending no money on no funeral. I don't want nobody talking about, don't put my ass on a raft and set me on fire. And I'm good. I want it to be real easy for my family. Cost efficient. But that's just me. In the Hindu cultures, they cremate the bodies. And I'm good with that, because I thought about how can I celebrate a birthday when I don't feel like I did enough. Death of an ego comes in, what can I do to be more of service? And I keep coming up with new ideas and what I want to do, and Epica Foundation, what I want to bring, who I want to teach, and my target audience. And I had to let a lot of old stuff go, a lot of old behavior to even get to that. So that's why I say all of that to come back to where I'm at now, and letting go and meeting death at death doors. I've been that ill as well, where I knew I was going to die, and surprised other people. Was like, I didn't think he was going to make it. I was like, me neither. It's difficult situations, and how we support others when their death card comes up is just looking them in the eye and being with them. It's something that we can't be afraid of or be, be fear, just fear mongered about it. Death is where you just really meet yourself and who you are and what you, I like the term to say not how high you could go, but how low you could go and where you at in life. That's death. It's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that old stuff. That ain't me. And allowing that new to come in. So I don't want to feel like I'm going in circles because I said a couple of things twice. But if you don't take nothing else, know that you could welcome death, you could let go, and there'll be a better day. That's what I want to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Before we hopped on the call, you talked about the source of unknown. Can you talk a little bit more about surrendering to the source of unknown?
The source of unknown.
Yeah, surrendering to the source of unknown and its relationship to death. Why is that important in this process of death?
It's important because we all would like to, there's a universal God. It's a universal God, but when you're indoctrinated into Christianity and the confusion that comes with the Quran, the Bible, all these textbooks, there is a source of unknown and unmatched power that's beyond the power of creation. The unknowing, the all-knowing, all of these terms are terms for the source of unknown. There's some things that we'll never know, but there's a spirit that we can connect to that lights the spark in our heart and our breath to give us that vitality, that connection, that kundalini energy, opening in the third eye. It's a source of unknown. And so when I talked about that, it was a journey that I had to take to get there. And I'm not saying I'm there and I'm, at the top of the what's the Haldane Mountains. I'm talking about it's a process to get to know, to be even in that awareness that there is an unknown source. And I want that unknown source backing me and calling on it, on the unknown. Because, and I'll share this with you, that I was a Jehovah's Witness for many years and I never felt satisfied. And I would call on the name Jehovah and I would call and I'd be on the floor petitioning with my head down, and I never felt like I got what I wanted. I never felt complete. I never felt whole. It was like something is missing. And this is me, this is my story. I'm not comparing my story with anybody else's experience, right? I'm an individual. This is me and my autonomy and what I needed to do, right? I was looking for something more. I was looking for something out there that didn't have no answers. It didn't talk. It didn't glow in the dark. It didn't speak in my ear. But it was a knowing, and I connected to that. And so when you know something, you ain't got to believe it. When you know something, you good. It's just like I know that I could do better. Like, you ain't got to tell me I could do better. I know I could do better. And that's the source of the unknown. It's just knowing.
Thank you for that. As we come from the hangman of death, what have we entered into from the hangman perspective?
I can't hardly hear you. I've turned up my mic, but it seems like you're going out. What did you say?
We've come from the hangman,
Mm-hmm.
and now we've entered into death.
Mm-hmm.
What is that perspective shift? What is the importance of the perspective shift as we go into death?
The unknown, and to let go and let it be. I like the phrase, let what is coming come and what is going going. Let it go. So it gives room and space. That's what it is. Definitely giving it room to move, to navigate. If you hold on to it, you holding on tight, it's just gonna be there. You gotta let stuff go so you can go and growth.
This is another stage of our growth, unburdening ourselves.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like that. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, sharing your understanding, sharing your perspective, and really giving us some tips and some tools for how to look at the archetypes, right? And how to look at ourselves as we are moving through the world, where we can identify ourselves, where we can identify our journey, has a lot to do with some of these ancient wisdom, ancient knowledges that have been passed down. This sort of exemplifies the power of this ancient knowledge, right? And so we want to make sure to, for our last advertisement of this podcast, to plug in Black Jewel Tarot reading. You can book your appointment with the description in below. You have a link where you can go ahead and book your reading. Again, tarot is the tool that's being used to help guide you in your journey and let you know where you are, allowing spirit to really speak to you through that jewel. And with that being said, Black Jewel Tarot, we're out.
We're